Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for May 21st, 2026. All right, man, I'm in a messed up right now. I forgot to restock my cough drops. I'll get them after the podcast is done this morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief. Appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. As we get started, don't forget to click the follow button to be a follower. I do this every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 7 Central Time. And then I do the JPA report at noon Central, Monday through Friday also. And then I'm still looking for some interaction. If y'all want me to do a podcast Monday afternoon on Memorial Day, I usually do it every Memorial Day because I highlight the guys I know that died in combat. All right, but let me know, and then you can get in the chat if you want. I will interact with you. I usually have two people that are in there that I know from here in Coppers Cove that help out. It's, Covite for Life, and then Retired Rob 53. They're not in here right now. Sometimes people sleep in. I don't. I get up 4 o'clock every morning. All right. So let's get started on this. So JP's Morning Brief, May 21st, 2026. We're going to start with America 250. The deal I have for this morning is General Washington left on May 21st, 1776 for New York City, going to Philadelphia for consultations on the upcoming battles that they're projecting to happen. All right. So General Washington left New York City for Philadelphia for consultations. That's what happened in 1776 on this day. Good morning, Covite for Life. I was just telling people that you usually show up. Thank you very much, man. Hope you're having a good day. And I got your text message last night about you showing your in-laws the Spencer Pratt video. I watched it again yesterday myself. That thing's hilarious. If you don't know what we're talking about, Spencer Pratt a few days ago put out a campaign video of him being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It is hilarious. So you got to look it up on X. Go to Spencer Pratt and you'll see that bad boy. And there's another one that got cut too. It's even better than that. But let's do the rest of the podcast this morning before I get out of control here. All right. So we have my buddies at the armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the armament shop is Coppers Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both online and in person. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the armament shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop. Your safety, our priority. All right, welcome back. Let me get my stuff set here. All right, so that's the armament shop. That's our local gun shop we have right here. We have 2 of them, matter of fact. But I know Jay Stevens personally, and I do this for him. All right, so we have the Iran update. Hold on just a second. I have no cough drops like I told you a while ago, so I'm losing it quick. So all I got is my hot chocolate in my 82nd Airborne mug. Remember, in a few days, we have Memorial Day coming up to remember our combat dead in our country, okay? And if you did not know, flags are half staff on Memorial Day only until noon. At noon, they go back to full staff. All right, so Iran update. We're still in Project Freedom. Oil prices are down about 6%, which is good. 95 vessels have been turned back. Uh, FIFA, I know this is going to be a point of contention, all right? But they put out yesterday that FIFA is not going to allow the pre-1979 Iranian flag at the World Cup games. We have the First Amendment here in the United States, so I don't know if they can actually enforce that one. SecWar and the vice president both says we are locked and loaded. Iran claims the U.S. Is willing to unfreeze $25 billion for a nuclear deal. I don't think that's true. Trump and Bibi, both that'd be Prime Minister Netanyahu, hold tense call about Iran. The Iranian president and the Pakistani Interior Ministry hold talks. The IRGC commander, I hope you're sitting down for this one, threatens a devastating blow if attacked again. And the Iranians said they have prepped for every scenario. Now, this one just came in, excuse me, about 30 minutes ago. I was watching Top of the Hour on the news, and this just came out. The spiritual leader, that would be the Ayatollah Murtaza Khomeini, says this is going to be a game changer here. Enriched uranium must, all caps, must stay in Iran, no matter what. All right? I don't think our president's going to like that one too much. That's a game stopper there. All right. So Brent crude oil this morning is at $104.12 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is below 100. Is at $97.62 a barrel. And the Dow Jones is at 50,009.35 points. It was up 645 points, 0.47 yesterday. All right. So this week is early voting in the state of Texas for our Texas primary runoff. The early vote is 18th of May through the 22nd. That would be tomorrow is the last day for early vote, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our early voting locations here in Coryell County are the Gatesville Tax Office and the Coppers Cove Early Vote Center, which is at the tax office also. All right. And then on the 26th of May is our runoff day. And voting day is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. also. And in Gatesville, it'll be at the Civic Center and at the Tax Center. In Coppers Cove, it'll be at the Civic Center and we'll be at an early vote center or the Tax Center. All right. For my selections for the actual runoff, I am endorsing Ken Paxton for U.S. Senate, Mays Middleton for Texas Attorney General, Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 3, Allison Fox, Texas Railroad Commission, Beau French, Coryell County Judge Rob Irwin, County Commissioner Precinct 2, Scott Weddle, and County Commissioner Precinct 4, Justin Smith. Those are my selections, my decisions. And like I said, regardless of how that turns out, if their opponent wins in November, I'm voting for their opponent. Okay, that's how it goes. I vote Republican. All right. So here we go. Next, California's a place to be. So I loaded up the family and moved to Beverly Hills. No, I did not. All right. So as you know, in California, they have a jungle primary. And lots of places use jungle primaries, but uh, they went to the ballot in 2010 to enforce the jungle primary, and they did that because Democrats will lie, cheat, and steal, and they tolerate those who do. That's what they do. That's exactly what the Democrat Party does. Okay, I'm not saying all Democrats, but the Democrat Party, they lie, they cheat, and they steal. All right. So in 2010, they devised, one, they before then they did the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing and did uh, the redistricting in panel, right? A non-state assembly people divvy up all the district boundaries, right? So in 2010, they went one step further. They said, let's eliminate the Republican Party altogether. So what they did was they devised this thing up called a jungle primary, where no matter what your political party is, the primary is run at one time, and everybody runs in that primary, and you got your Republicans and Democrats and stuff. The stipulation is the top two candidates on election day advance to the November election. So you could get one Republican, one Democrat, or you can get two Democrats, you can get two Republicans. Stop. So I said that last one, two Republicans on there. Right now we have Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco that are running for governor in the state of California. They are going bananas in the state of California because the first time since that law passed, that candidates for governor may be shut out of the system and only Republicans being place one or place two, even though right now Chad Bianco is coming in place four right now, right? But the chances are it could happen and block out Javier Becerra, which they're trying to sneak in to get elected governor, even though Steve Hilton's running away with this thing. So, and I've told y'all before, I support Steve Hilton right now as it is. Um, so they have an assemblyman putting together a package for a vote in the 2028 election to revert back to the old system of Democrat primary and Republican primary because they don't want to take the chance anymore that they could be shut out of an election. They want their power so bad they want to change the law. If you remember the uh, the altercation that took place in the Battle of the Alamo movie with Billy Bob Thornton, right? It was an exchange between um, uh, Colonel William Barrett Travis and Colonel James Bowie, and they took a vote. Vote didn't go the way of Colonel William Barrett Travis, which is he was a regular Army officer, right? And he said something like militia can't count because they're not regular Army or something like that. And Jim Bowie goes, "You don't like the outcome, so you change the rules." That's how the Democrats operate, right there. All right. Uh, so, I'm off on a tangent this morning. You got to keep me in line there, Ricky. Uh, so, California Republican gubernatorial frontrunner, that's a mouthful, Steve Hilton blasted Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom for fear mongering after the governor suggested he had a contingency plan if Democrats appeared to at risk of shutting out of the general election. California's primary election is just 2 weeks away, and under the state's jungle primary system, where the top two vote getters advance regardless of party, both Democrats and Republicans fear they won't be represented in the general election. Newsom expressed his concern that a Republican shutdown last Thursday during a news conference explaining that he had a break the glass scenario to ensure Democrats aren't locked out. There are many people that have a deep understanding of what it would look like if the Democrats were locked out, and we're going to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen. I'll leave it there. What is he talking about, right? Um, Print off more ballots and send people out more so they can vote more than once? All right. That was my personal comment. Um, Gavin Newsom's office was reached out for comment, and they didn't respond. Hilton claimed that Newsom's comments were a tactic that split the American voters between himself and Chad Bianco. He's not going to stop a top two Republican outcome because it is not possible and never was, Hilton said in a statement. Chad Bianco is far behind in polls and fundraising. He has no chance of being in the top two, which is correct, right? Um, Real Clear Politics polling averages show Hilton leading the pack of candidates with Javier Becerra in a close second. Meanwhile, Bianco trails in fourth place. Hilton argued that it would be Newsom's ideal scenario to have two Democrats facing off, says it would deflect attention from his appalling record as he eyes a 2028 presidential run. Newsom and the Democrats are fear-mongering over an R versus R matchup in a general election, precisely to encourage Republicans to split their votes, thus guaranteeing an all-Democrat top two. Uh, in a video posted on X, Hilton called on his Republican opponent to drop out of the race in an effort to ensure Republicans are on the ballot. Political strategist says there is a valid fear among Democrats and Republicans that their party could be shut out of the general election due to the jungle primary system, which went into effect after voters approved in a statewide referendum in 2010, like I said earlier. I do read this stuff before I talk about it. All right. I do think they don't need a jungle primary, like I think they don't need ranked choice voting. Which is in other states, not in California, but in other states they got ranked choice voting also. It just should be a standard get in there and vote. That's the way it is, okay? If you're a Democrat, you're voting for your nominee. If you're a Republican, you're voting for your nominee. Same and so forth with the Greens, Libertarians, and Communists, all right? All right, next. We're going to stay in California. California's a place to be, right? So you load up your family and move to Beverly Hills. Black coal, Texas tea. All right. Election fraud. So despite evidence to the contrary, liberal voting activists have spent years minimizing cheating concerns and portraying those who want to investigate such problems as election deniers. But the Justice Department, FBI, and Homeland Security are now systematically exposing electoral fraud from non-citizen voting to ballot box shuffling schemes that are turning the table in epic fashion. The latest strike came Monday, a couple of days ago, when longtime voting activists in California reached a deal with federal prosecutors to admit they illegally paying homeless people to sign election petitions and paying people to register to vote in a 2-decade scheme that allegedly leveraged Democrat-run state lax mail voting system, which sends ballot forms to everyone whether they ask for them or not. Hold. All right. So I'm a deputy voter registrar, DVR. Right. I was here in Texas. You will go to jail if you pay people to register to vote. You will go to jail if you register people to vote and you know they're Democrat or Republican and you don't process the Democrat voter registrations. Plain and simple. You pay people to sign a petition to get registered to vote? That's ridiculous. You're paying people to sign petitions to get people on the ballot? Are you out of your mind? And we have people that do it, like I said, lie, cheat, and steal. That should be the Democrat motto for their entire party. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Do we cheat them and how? All right. The felony charge and plea deal announced Monday against Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong, a four-name person, 64 of Marina Del Rey. Uh, she left her heart on Marina Del Rey. That's a song by George Strait a long time ago. Not only signals an investigation into others, it will likely provide legal fodder for the U.S. Justice Department efforts to force California to turn over voter registration database to look for other abuses. That case, like uh, others like against blue states, are working their way through federal courts in a major initiative led by Assistant Attorney General. You don't want to cross this lady, Harmon Dillon. All right. They lie, they cheat, and they steal. They'll do anything to win an election. Why would someone, knowing that it's illegal and they're going to get caught, do this? That's crazy to even think about doing something that stupid. Man. All right. We'll talk about this lady later on. This is the one I want to talk about before I run out of time here because it's already 6:52. Polls open in 7 minutes in the state of Texas. So go do your duty. So, two things. I read this morning, I didn't print it off. I read this morning that there's a group spending $4 million in attack ads on Graham Plattner, and Oyster Boy, that's running for the U.S. Senate in Maine. All right, this guy, the combat vet, I really don't care. He's a piece of trash. It came out yesterday. He's making all these stupid, racist, misogynistic comments left and right. And then this came out yesterday. Okay? Because it's not bad enough that he laughs at someone that's almost mortally wounded on the battlefield because he was doing his duty trying to protect his fellow soldiers and stuff. And he admitted later on, because the guy lived and got a Purple Heart, he said, I mistakenly and ran in the wrong direction to deflect fire, and I got hit. I mean, that's the concern of every soldier in combat. If I move this way, is it the wrong move? I mean, you think about it, okay? Sometimes you think about it. The definition of being courageous and being a coward is like a nanosecond. It's that decision you make on the battlefield that will make the difference of the rest of your life, okay? So, Chris Kyle, he's a Texan, right? When he died, he was living in Midlothian, which is just south of Dallas. He is on record of being the highest sniper count of any American sniper in the history of our military. He was a Navy SEAL also, right? So Graham Plattner, and I got this from the Washington Free Beacon. Okay, Graham Plattner smeared murdered American sniper Chris Kyle in a podcast rant, claiming the Navy SEALs shot civilians to get high numbers. You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna smear a dead hero's name because he cannot come back and defend himself. You piece of trash. Oh my goodness. I hope Susan Collins crushes you in the November election. Even though polls say otherwise right now, it's going to come back and haunt you. These statements you're saying about Americans, American soldiers, American sailors, are going to come back and haunt you. I'm surprised someone just doesn't pummel you politically before it happens. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. someone just spent $4 million on attack ads against you because you don't deserve where you're being at right now. Go back and oyster farm, guy. Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner, it said D for Democrat, but he's a communist, incompetent communist, suggested that legendary American sniper Chris Kyle shot innocent civilians in Iraq to inflate his kill numbers. Plattner also bristled at the idea of the former Navy SEAL and his platoon being dubbed heroes. Plattner, running for the U.S. Senate against Susan Collins, lashed out against Kyle and members of SEAL's Task Force Bruiser in a May 2024 podcast interview on the Green Beret Chronicle show, in which Plattner, a former Marine, discussed his deployment in 2006 to Ramadi, a hotbed of insurgent activity during the Iraqi war. In the interview, Plattner, who did not belong to an elite special forces unit like the SEALs, took issue with public portrayals of Task Force Bruiser and Kyle as heroes of the Iraq War. Kyle's stories about how many people he shot during certainly tracked with the behavior I witnessed in Ramadi. It's relatively easy to get high numbers like that if you are a little less discriminating in your fire than, say, a more professional unit would be. Plattner claimed members of Task Force Bruiser, led by then Navy SEAL Commander Jocko Wilcock, shot unarmed civilians from their position at a government center in Ramadi, where American forces were stationed throughout 2006. Nonsense. Flat out nonsense. You are a low-level Marine. You have no clue. You're speaking from your fourth point of contact, dude. You have no clue what you are talking about. You piece of trash, low-level. Maybe the next time you go fish for oysters, you get bit by one of them. Man. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. I almost got to John Cornyn. All right, I got a heart out. I'm not going to do a rave this morning. I get to take my daughter to work today. Oh, wait a minute. I'm giving her a ride to work. They have restricted parking, so if she wants me to drop her off at work, I'm not taking her to work, or she'd be right beside me right now. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in for the morning brief. I will see y'all in a few hours on the JPA report. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Okay. Y'all have a great morning, and I'll see y'all in a few hours. Okay. Talk to you later. This is James Pierce with JP's Morning Brief. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.